So blueprint mode is basically showing the structure. It's like an X-ray of what your app is doing. And I can have blueprint mode and design mode on side by side. And one new thing we have that you've asked for is, here, this is a scroll view. And I can now scroll the design surface directly. Now, blueprint mode is particularly useful for the new constraint layout. So let's take a look at constraint layout. So first of all, I'm going to turn off auto connect mode. So let's drag in some components. So we'll put a text view here. We'll put a edit text, another text view, and another password field maybe. And then we'll add some buttons on the bottom right. So you can notice I'm being kind of sloppy because after the fact, I can go in and I can make a selection. I can right-click and say, hey, I want to align these things on the bottom. I want to align all these things on the left. Maybe I also want to pack them vertically. So here I have my design. Now let's see what happens if I go to landscape mode. That's not good, right? So I have buttons off screen. So let's try to fix that. So there's this little light bulb icon for infer constraints. Notice what happens when I click it. I now have these constraints where it's tried to guess what we probably mean here. And when I try to resize this now, you can see the buttons are moving correctly. So normally, you're actually in auto connect mode. So if I want to drag in a button here, you can see that the second I drop it, it actually goes and adds these constraints for me. And if I don't like them, of course, I can delete the constraint by just clicking on them. I can also drag new constraints. And we sort of show you preview what it's going to do when you commit to it. And the constraints can also have strength. So as I'm dragging, you can see it auto-snaps to a quarter or specific percentage. Someone asked yesterday if this also works from XML editing, if that's what you prefer, and why, yes, it does. You can see here we are in XML. I can continue to play with the constraints over here. And you can see the XML editing works just fine as well. So this is a very powerful, thank you. So this is a very powerful constraint solver. And what that lets you do is flatten your layout hierarchies. And that's very, very, very good for performance. So we've added a feature to help jumpstart that. So let me open this other layout, this one. Let me switch to blueprint mode so you can sort of see what's going on. So here's a layout that is actually a set of nested linear layouts. And if I now go and say, convert this linear layout to a constraint layout, it offers to flatten the whole thing. And as you can see, visually it looks the same now, except we have constraints. And on the left, you can see a single flat list. All right, let's go look at editing. So